Welcome to the Rhine Valley and the Hockenheim circuit, which hosted its first F1 Grand Prix back in 1970, following a driver's boycott of the famous Nürburgring. In the modern era, both of these tracks are now alternated to give us the German Grand Prix.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm K-Gibbs GP and welcome to my German Grand Prix preview. And just days after Lewis Hamilton seized the championship lead at the Hungaroring, the F1 circus rolls on to Germany for the 12th round of the 2016 season. I do love a back-to-back. Just moments after I finished recording my Hungarian Grand Prix review, we roll on to Germany. And Hockenheim is a brilliant track. It's one of my personal favourites. Obviously the modifications that happened in the early 2000s, some people would argue took away from the circuit a little bit. Personally, I feel like the stadium section, which is integral to the track, in the kind of critical area for the best kind of racing and the best atmosphere, still remains, which is the key. Obviously, the circuit last hosted a race in 2014, given the Nürburgring's financial difficulties, meaning that the alternating contract that they had, with obviously 1 year at Hockenheim and 1 year at Nürburgring for the German Grand Prix, meant that in 2015 we didn't have a German Grand Prix, which is really unfortunate, given that Germany is such a hub for motorsport in general. The first race at Hockenheim was held in 1970, and that was obviously prior to the alternating contract between there and the Nürburgring. The stadium section, which the gameplay is showing off now, holds 120,000 fans, which is the capacity for the stadium. It's a brilliant atmosphere, those who have been there do say. Although in 2014 it was a bit of a disappointing turnout. Only 52,000 fans turned out to see Nico Rosberg take his first win on home soil. It was actually Mercedes domination over the weekend. Nico Rosberg, in fact, led every single lap in 2014, and certainly the circuit should play into Mercedes' hands. It is somewhat of a power track, and the Mercedes runners did prove to be very strong last time out. Valtteri Bottas got his equaling career best result in second place, with a drive which I felt really highlighted him as one of F1's hottest prospects. It was his real breakthrough performance where he managed to hold off Lewis Hamilton in fine fashion in the closing stages. In true Iceman fashion, he threatened to steal the Iceman crown away from Kimi Räikkönen that day with a stunning, cool, calm and collected drive to that second place finish. So yeah, Mercedes I should say, should be very strong this weekend. Red Bull and Ferrari may struggle to match them. Obviously last weekend seemed to be their moment to shine, obviously with the power deficiencies they face not being highlighted by the Hungaroring circuit. This one may be quite different. Red Bull and Ferrari though should be quite evenly matched here. I don't see why there would be anywhere that would highlight their differences really. Obviously the only place which I think Red Bull will be strong, or stronger than Ferrari, will be in the last sector, the technical twisty sector 3. Obviously the stadium section is very much one line through there, so you won't see much overtaking, but we all know Red Bull are very, very strong in the slow corners, and it's the slow corners in that sector 3 which will see them really prevail in that particular part. Certainly if Ricciardo goes into sector 3 and he's up on Mercedes' lap time for that point in qualifying, then you can be sure to see a Red Bull on pole. That I'm certain, but if he can get to there with a green sector times up to that point, or purple sector times even, then he's doing very, very well indeed. Force India are another team which are going to be quite interesting to watch how they do this weekend. They're actually heading to the track with 3 sets of medium compound tyres per car, which is a departure from what the rest of the field are doing, with everybody else on the grid taking only 1 set. What that does mean is that we could see them opt for an alternate strategy on Sunday, potentially running a medium tyre to extend the stint length. And one of the stints, they may be even able to cut out 1 stop depending on how many stops are required and what how the strategy plays out. Obviously the running on Friday in FP2 will give us a bit of a clearer indication as to what the strategy will likely be. Obviously they've got the man they need in the car if they do want to extend the stint out. Sergio Perez is known for being able to get the stint length required. It's somewhat of a party trick of his, so if they are going to run mediums for a very long time on Sunday and get some pace out of it, then Sergio Perez is the man for that kind of scenario. One thing I would say, and I'm sorry to bring it up everybody, but track limits could be an interesting one this weekend. Obviously last weekend in Hungary, the FIA trialled a new system where they put sensors on the outside of particular problem areas where it comes to track extension, in an effort to weed out those who were track extending against those who were keeping it all in bounds, and taking the prerogative and taking the influence away from marshals and observers at the side of the track, and from who basically got caught on video track extending. So it's become much clearer as to who's doing it and who isn't right now. And I expect a similar policy to be introduced this weekend. Hockenheim, obviously turns 1, turns 11 and turns 12 are likely to be the problem areas, and likely where we'll probably see some sensors put down. But hopefully track limits won't be the talk of the weekend, and hopefully we'll just be able to focus on what promises to be a pretty interesting race. In terms of predictions, my predictions last weekend were well off. I predicted a Red Bull 1-2, and I am proving that F1 is unpredictable, which isn't really a bad thing, is it? But this weekend I'm going to go slightly less ambitious. I'm going to say it's going to be a Mercedes 1-2, their 4th of the season. I'm going to go with Lewis Hamilton, because he's riding the crest of the wave at the moment, to win the race against Nico Rosberg in 2nd place. Hopefully a good battle between the two. And I'm going to go for Daniel Ricciardo in 3rd place, putting Red Bull's advantage in the final sector to good use and coming out on the final step of the podium. The same 3 podium finishers from the Hungaroring, most likely in the same order. Please leave your predictions for the weekend in the comments section below, and also things like whether you think Force India will try an alternate strategy, obviously bringing the 3 sets of medium compound tyres to the track, and whether Ferrari will maintain their advantage over Red Bull in the Constructors' Championship, obviously heading into the weekend with just 1 point to spare in their battle to retain 2nd place. So for now at least, guys, that's all from me. I will be tweeting throughout the weekend, of course, at KGibbsGP on Twitter to follow all of my thoughts as they happen. But for now at least, that's all. Please like if you have enjoyed, and please share also if you have. But for now at least, I shall speak to you later.